Hokori for our semifinals here. Basically, we're already saw today that Infamous 2 old wild card. So this is to see who gets to play Infamous in the grand finals. We are all SA tint. I mean, is this what you expected out of the NADCL?
A bit of a twist there. You'd think with the name NADC, there'd be a lot of NA teams, but apparently we're an SA div now.
SADCL on the way.
Yep.
And draft also on the way already. We've got some offlane bans out of the way. For some brief history, because I do love SA Dota, so this is, I'll admit, I kind of do like how this all planned out. You know, I also love FCR, so
You
gonna
planned it
see
out, I
my,
see.
I did this. All right, I'm the one who made this happen. But Hokori and Keedstars, they have actually already played a good amount. Hokori is Div 1 SA, Keedstars are Div 2 SA. However, to get there, Keedstars was actually locked in a 5th to 7th place tiebreaker with Infamous and Alliance, which is now Hokori, since Alliance dropped the roster. So I wouldn't say that just because this is a Div 1 team versus a Div 2 team, that this is like some horribly lopsided matchup. These guys are clearly very even. In fact, whenever they did play, Infamous actually took 56 minutes to beat Keedstars in the old lineup. They did get rid of their mid and their offlaner to bring back FCR. And what's the other one? I knew FCR right off the bat because you know I love him, but it was FCR and Analog. So actually stealing technically from Hokori. Alone replaced Analog on the other side, and well, in our draft here we've got a Spear Breaker opening. How do you think that this first phase of the draft has changed with new patch? Because I haven't seen near as much first phase Medusa anymore. Was that really that big of a nerf?
I guess like it didn't look that bad on paper, just being like the illusions are less tanky,
Yeah,
but
right.
I think if we're gonna see it in the first phase, I'm guessing it'll be an 8 pick.
Maybe it's just not
Yeah,
5 anymore. It's still really good.
yeah,
It's just not your 5 pick. I can see that. Yeah.
yeah. Maybe you're a little scared of the like follow up from the next 2 picks.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll find out right now whether or not we're right.
I suppose so. I mean, they can open up Magnus Windranger. I don't love playing Medusa into those two heroes. They actually go for the Morphling.
Mm.
Morphling is astonishingly good versus these universal heroes. I actually think this hero may start taking some spots up in that first phase of the draft. It's had tremendous success. And another hero that's been first phase banned is the Timbersaw, also because of how good it matches up versus all these universal heroes. So I think this is going to slowly creep its way up. Timber obviously feels like one of the best heroes of the patch now because so many other heroes got just like axed. Abba got taken out back and shot.
Yeah.
So like so many other carries got like kind of dumpstered, and you know Timber's still really good. There wasn't really many changes to him. So
Yeah, he's
yeah, I
just
think
such a
Morphling's gonna
solid
slide
mid
up.
pick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
The
What's
morph
the
for sure. It's just I don't know. It's kind of made this like meteoric rise. It felt like in the last
right?
like
Yeah.
short time where it's like, you know what? Let's beat on some universal heroes.
Yeah, which is so impactful. I mean, there's always going to be at least one. Spiritbreaker is actually one that playing against the Morphling you usually like to be because you get to charge through everybody, and that feels really nice. Windrunner is another one that feels pretty good because you have the shackle and Morphling. If you allow him to get set up with like a 4-second stun, he will kill
Mm.
you. So
Oh
it
yeah.
also feels really good.
Yeah, I think the draft so far is very much like the classic, like maybe at least last patch staple heroes, where you just pick two universal heroes, pick the two strongest ones, Magnus and Rindranger, and see what happens. Kind of seems like this morph is a bit more of the like, let's see what comes after this patch. Let's adapt. Let's improvise.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
because things are going to look a lot the same, right? It was a letter patch, so as soon as the letter patch comes out, almost nothing changes. I think the biggest change out of all of it was that Broodmother feels a lot more powerful. I think that might be the biggest change of everything.
you're hoping to see a Broodmother, or what's
I don't
the?
know if I'm hoping to. I don't want to go that far. I just think that people will probably pick it. I don't know if I love seeing that hero yet. I hated the times, you know, at the beginning of this patch where you just straight up banned Brood all the time. Fifth ban, like you're taking it out because if you leave it in, then it's an auto pick and you kind of feel like you're losing the game. On the new map, I will say it doesn't feel like it's game ending yet because
Mhm.
there's so much more. Even though you do have like buff to webs, buff to your speed, it feels like there's a lot more area that the Brood has to control, and it's a lot harder to do. As a carry, whenever you get like bullied out of the map like that, you have so much more map to back into that doesn't feel as bad.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe it'll be a pause one.
I've actually wanted to see that. It seems like the
Yeah.
stats build on it is so good And I think it is, you don't want to build these auras on it anymore, right? Because it's
Mhm.
universal, because of how the insatiable hunger works. You just want to do, big boy things. I want to sit and hit.
Yeah, kind of like the Lycan pick we saw earlier in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Which that, I don't know. I have to think about if that one was it a really good Lycan game, or is that hero actually like needs to be a lot more respected?
It kind of makes sense, right? With the trend of universal heroes of ones that like to right click, playing them as pause one, Lycan seems to kind of fit that bill.
Yeah.
He likes buying the Echo Saber,
Hmm.
Manta, stuff like that. So maybe we'll see it. But I feel like we've already kind of grabbed a bunch of cores right now.
Yeah. Spirit Breaker honestly has a lot of flex into the off lane too, right? This could just be all cores right now. And
Don't
Veno.
know. Solid.
Oof. Very good versus high HP heroes, so the morph lane, whenever you morph up, it'll be a little bit rough to play against. You also are able to throw wards in lanes. I love heroes that can push out a wave without showing on it. Or you're playing versus Spirit Breaker, right? So this kind of hits that.
Yeah. Very much like staple support and provides some like area and vision, which Magnus and Wind love to work with. If they see the fight and they can set up their spells how they want them, they are so much stronger that way.
Yeah. I will say the Hokori lineup feels like it deals with a lot more than the Keystars opener. I think the Keystars opener is still really good. Spirit Breaker will help you deal with a lot of lane push. Morphling is very good, like late game potential versus these two heroes. But you have BKB piercing disable, high single target damage with the Wind Ranger. You have very good wave clear on the other side with the Magnus, so you don't necessarily want to go for those illusion heroes anymore. Now the Venomancer makes it so that heroes that don't build a BKB earlier or don't have dispels on them feel really bad. So I feel like they're kind of just annoying their way through this first round of the draft. For like, I just
Yeah.
don't want to pick so many heroes now.
Yeah, I do like the way the morph matches up against Magnus though. The hero's such a good counter pick into it. You steal his stats and you get to actually, it's not like you're just morphing into him to steal his stats.
Yeah.
You get good use out of uh the Magnus slash morph combo of the skewer gives you just like essentially another Q, and you love the bonus damage that the empower gives you. So
Yes. Yeah. Do you want to see them maybe go into this draft as Keystars? Like, we need to just enable Morph. He is our game winner. We don't need any other hero. We just need him. So, like, instead of seeing some sort of like secondary core, like this double core lineup, just go for things that help the Morphling play the game.
I think that they'll want some other like playmaker, something to
Yeah.
make things happen, because Undying and Spirit Breaker, they kind of want to play with someone. They want someone to start or someone to follow up onto.
Okay.
So
Like Mars. Oh, snap. Oh,
yeah,
that's the
sure.
SA special. I
Yeah.
think I also heard Ricky talking about this. Every time that I watch the SA games, in other regions, this is usually like some late second phase or third phase pick that's usually going into the mid lane. It doesn't often get flexed out of that anymore. I'm not sure what changed on the dynamic, but it doesn't really. It hadn't, at least whenever 2 or 3 tours ago. But in
Yeah.
SA, this is like anything. 2 through 5, it can go any position. Thankfully, in this lineup, it looks like it's going to be a 2, 3, 4. We're kind of unsure, but it has, with its change to universal, it definitely feels like a fantastic mid laner. Very hard to CS against.
Yeah. It kind of leaves their flex open a little bit longer too, where you have some rough idea of where Spirit Breaker and Snapfire want to go, but you're never really certain. So that kind of back of the head questioning makes you second guess. Oh, we knew it was gonna happen.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we called it. We knew what was happening here. I'm a big fan. I think in this game, you don't have anything that just like AFK hits spiders. I don't know if I love it that much versus a Spirit Breaker though. Once he locks onto you, you're in. So are you liking? Is there a way to play around that, or is this game still kind of hard for the Brood?
I feel like the old thinking on Brood was she kind of likes to play in the off lane and she wants to try and take up the space, and Spirit Breaker was really rough to play into because he could like chase you down over cliffs, keep the vision on you, and let everyone else like keep the chase going onto Brood.
Yeah.
I
Kinda
guess
like
we're not
the
certain where the
Rupture, right?
Brood's going. Yeah, similar.
Same idea.
So I guess if it's played as pause one Brood, we're not certain yet where this Brood's going. I guess they kind of have this like universal tricore flex potential.
One of these is a core. I have no idea which one is which, but
Yeah.
one of them is.
So I could kind of see it putting in some work in the pause one lane.
Yeah.
it doesn't have to run away as far to get to safety, which
Yeah.
might leave it a little less susceptible to Spirit Breaker. But yeah, you make a good point of it really sucks when you're like, oh, I showed on that wave. Is Spirit Breaker charging me
Yeah,
right
right.
now?
It's the worst. At least thankfully again because it wants to be a stats here, it builds Lincoln's fine.
Yep.
I don't know. I guess I just don't want to see it in the mid lane. That's the only thing that I want out of the Broodmother. I think it's awesome whenever you can kind of like just absorb all those camps, even around the Twin Gate.
Yeah.
That could be a bit dangerous, but I think you're doing really good with that. Magnus is a very good mid laner. I like how it kind of matches up into the Snapfire because you're able to just empower yourself, and all of a sudden the Ciacian feels even your sided, maybe even. Windrunner has gotten played though a lot in the mid lane. I think the nukes from the Snap may be a bit much. You're not crazy high HP early on. So I don't know. I think I'd want to see Wind 1, Mag 2, Brood 3. And I think you probably pick a different pause 4 then. You throw the Veno on 5. I'm not sure how that lane is with Wind though.
Swap. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's
Wow.
probably their mid.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. So Snap in the off
90%
lane.
sure.
Snap Spear Breaker is one hell of a lane. That is strong.
Yeah, a lot of stun, a lot of tank too, where it's going to be tough to burst them down and tough to close kills out.
Yeah.
I could see them running the Wind mid now.
Yeah.
It's not like great, but it can lane into Queen of Pain, I think. The Meg 3, Wind 2, Brood 1, I could see some mileage out of, but
That's true.
we'll see what they go here.
Yeah, it feels like it's gonna be the Wind mid then, and then Magnus Broodmother in the either lane. I think you're really good now to throw the Veno on the 4 then, and you pick up like a Ruptor. I would be pretty cool with a Ruptor actually in this game now that I'm thinking about it. It's really nice versus the Quap. All of a sudden you're really focusing the BKB. It offers a lot of team fight that really you're only seeing with the Magnus, and you have so much vision with the Veno wards. I think you can make it work, and it has again been an SA special.
Yeah, I guess maybe we could be overlooking some like Mag flex into pause 5, but
True. This ain't C-Dub though.
Yeah,
It's signified.
It's interesting too if they do end up going with a support for their like 24 pick. It's gonna be some like they really wanted these universal heroes. Okay.
Oh wow, yeah, okay, you called it. They're doing it.
Yeah.
I mean that's my safe laner. Lumiere's picking it up. And I think this means wait.
Okay.
What? That's not what I expected. So that is wow. Pause 4 Windrunner. Didn't think that was going to be the case at all. I thought that hero has been a really good core. I guess maybe they don't love the Morphling matchup. So yeah, it is going to be the pause 5 Veno as well. Mid lane on the Magnus. Okay.
Makes sense, I think.
I mean, it makes sense. I just don't. I think that hero still has a really fine time. What do you think is making them look at this like, okay, I don't want to play this Windrunner care anymore. It is just too much to deal with. I don't want to play it. What is like kind of speaking out to them with that?
I think they wanted the Faceless as just like a security where if the game goes long, we don't really have to worry about just auto losing to Morphling. It's like a good scaler, and I think that they were maybe potentially worried about the Morphling just like griefing a universal hero core. I think that's the advantage to like picking this like opener of Magnus Wind. You like really can't be sure where the heroes are going. The flex potential is unreal.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best things you can do for your 24 pick, right? Is just make it a little bit elusive. You don't know what we're gonna do. We can always flex it around. I don't know if I love that switch on the Windrunner, but at the end of the day, you see these two drafts here. Which one do you think is better to play the game for, or maybe even a bit easier to play the game for?
I think there's always going to be some simplicity, I guess, in the way you want to take fights when you have Faceless. That's like just thinking like how you want to play fights. It's going to be hard to land like a good chrono, I think, but I think the game plan might be a bit more straightforward for them. But I think there's like going to be some like I don't think it's a really clear cut. I like Hokori's draft better.
Okay.
I love seeing morphs play because they always pop off.
I mean, the Morphling game is it does look pretty nice. They banned out the AA pretty quick. Do you think that this Broodmother lane is too much for him to handle? I mean, Brood has always been like the stompity stomp of heroes, and you know, Morphling doesn't exactly have a plethora of AoE damage. So do you think that he's going to get shoved out pretty soon?
I could see that happening. The kind of trend with the new patch has been you kind of want to hold on to this like tier 1 safe lane tower a bit longer than you would have in like the previous patch. So I think Morph might struggle a bit to hold on to the tower once Broodmother hits 6. The Spiderlings are just probably a little bit much damage. She'll be able to like force him away from the lane when he wants to just sit there and farm.
Yeah.
They might need to like swap lanes or bring down someone who can deal with the hero a bit better.
Oh boy, big rune fight. They do end up getting it on KJ, but even with the blood grenade down, I don't think that they're gonna get any kills out of this.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a trend of crazy early game fights around the bounties and stuff, but pretty simple so far.
Yeah, it's nice. At this point, you know, you're this late in the tournament, just don't feed. You know, just
Yeah.
I get it, runes are important, but don't give away any early kills. Those can be the hurting the worst. And something that I kind of talked about with Bob actually in one of the other casts is that it doesn't always feel like 20 XP is a ton if your team shares an XP on 1 kill, but you know that's one creep that all of a sudden you have the advantage for. Your team hits level 2 in the lane earlier. You can hit some pretty nice timings with it. So a lot more important than sometimes you think.
Level 2 power spikes are just like huge on some heroes. Maybe Morph not quite so much, but I'm definitely interested to see how this like snap faceless matchup's gonna go.
Yeah,
I feel like
it feels like it's burst damage, right? And typically a faceless void is fine versus burst damage. Just back out as long as it doesn't kill you.
Yeah, I feel like the lane has like more volatility. I feel like the bot lane's gonna be pretty stagnant. I don't know. I think Undying is gonna make them miserable, but I don't think it's gonna be easy for them to find kills.
And we are on first blood watch, which means that Pop-Tart is sweating out of his ass right now, just waiting to see who's gonna die first. On that note, what is your favorite Pop-Tart flavor?
Oh, I don't know. I kind of like some of the fruit ones, honestly.
Ooh, okay. I like the chocolate chip cookie dough. It's probably my favorite.
Oh yeah, excellent.
I'm not healthy at all about Pop-Tarts, you know, it's all for the enjoyment.
I don't know if any of them are healthy. Sorry to break it to you.
Oh, mid lane, man. Actually seen a lot of damage done for Analog. Almost caught him there with the skewer, but it looks like Analog will just be able to battle back. It feels like kind of one of the archetype matchups where you get something that's tanky, has a decent amount of health regen, and then you're fine versus the Quamp. Do you think that eventually this dagger is going to get out of hand for Alone on this Magnus?
I guess it kind of depends on how the Queen of Pain builds. I think the second point of Shadow Strike is like just enough to be annoying, but not enough to like be like, oh, I can't lane here anymore.
Yeah.
So I think like he'll only be able to make Meg miserable if he like gets more points in it, but then he's kind of ruining his like own farm and rotation potential a little bit. So
yeah. It's definitely mutually assured destruction.
Oh yeah,
whenever you go for
sure.
the third point in it. I hate it. Every time that I lane against somebody who does this, I'm like, you're not getting farm out of this. You're just being annoying. I'm not getting anything. You're not getting anything. Why are you doing this to us?
They just want to see everyone suffer.
I know. It's the worst. Typical quad players.
Oh, bot lane.
Uh-oh. Looks like they're going on KJ. The Undying actually going down first. Somewhat ironic, but also a little bit unexpected. I hear it's typically pretty tanky. He also did not. He held his points. He didn't get anything yet, so he didn't even want to throw down a tombstone. Huh.
He definitely wanted to go. He was out of mana. He was out of health. He wanted to go back to base, get some items, come back fresh and ready to rumble.
Yeah.
Sometimes your supports are just like, you know what? I need that free trip, man.
Regen as the Lord intended.
Give me that vacation out of here.
Kasabi honestly getting a little bit worked in the lane. His CS is good, but he definitely is feeling some pressure right now. Vitaly, honestly, kind of losing the CS. Although they're getting hits, I mean, they don't have near. In fact, he's almost getting close to doubled up.
Yeah, I think that's probably just like the Undying factor of he just like can bully you so hard.
Oh boy, topside, they actually get Gardic, huh? Well, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. He can't kill the Faceless Void that easily. Just go after the slow boy that's ahead of him. And I will say, as somebody who has a lot of games on the Venomancer, he is very susceptible to the death.
Yeah, getting jumped on and you're like, damn, my Move slow doesn't do much anymore.
No, it really doesn't. Whenever they're right on top of you already.
Yeah, so far lanes, I guess maybe ever so slightly favoring Keedstars, but it's still pretty early on. I think there's going to be a lot of room for some mayhem to happen in the 5 to 10 minute mark.
Absolutely. I mean, somehow Hokori actually have a net worth lead. That's noticeable. I guess that is actually mostly from the Quap. Quap is somewhat low in the net worth department, but
I know.
Oh boy, again. The poor guy, and FCR top of the CS for a good reason. Yeah, he doesn't have jump for 15 seconds. Get that bash. KNRD, I need a bash from you. Okay, actually, he doesn't need it. They end up getting the kill. It is a double bracer snapfire, and FCR CSing like a gon right now. Feeling pretty good in this lane. I mean, what? Do you go just mana boots and then start to figure out some aura items probably on FCR?
The hard part about Snap is, like, you can kind of build whatever item you want, and now that, like, your options are even more open because you're a universal, like, there's really no telling what's going to happen.
I feel like if you want the damage, you just go Atos or something, right?
Yeah. I feel like the transition into Snapfire right-clicking always happens, like, some of the, like, later points. Usually you want, like, your 20, 25 talent if you're going to do it, so I feel like starting off as, like, the classic off-laner, statting up, looking to fight, I think, like, those kind of items would make sense. Maybe the Atos, like you said, just you don't need to build it into Gleipnir, but you definitely just want to be able to fight, deal that magic damage.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, it's easier to cope with the Snapfire and be like, look, I can just transition later whenever you have this good of a start, right? It's much easier to transition whenever the Greaves come a lot earlier.
Not building Greaves, though. Got the treads.
Oh, yeah, no. Unless he's going for the double boot. One for each foot on top of the Snapfire. Yeah, no, he is going for a little bit different on the Snapfire build.
He wants the universal bonus.
That makes sense. I guess usually the pause fours have been picking it up. Granted, that's whenever there's a techies on your team. It's a lot easier for him to pick up Greaves if you want it. But in this game, it seems like they're just going to be totally opting around it unless KJ is somehow picking it up on the Undying. I don't think he's getting that much farm, but I guess they don't really need it that much. Not a whole lot that you're dispelling from. I would have kind of liked it versus, honestly, the Faceless Void and the Venomancer, both a lot of good dispel opportunities. But as you're able to hold out on it, then you don't care that much.
Yeah, everyone's looking to play their own game. I think it makes sense too. Spearbreaker, like, if he can get some of his own items, he's just like a monster playing side lanes in the mid game.
Yeah.
He doesn't really want to be buying the, like, auras and the help your team items. He's in it for his own benefit.
Yeah. It's not like you're really around to use them anyways. Whenever you play like a Dawnbreaker or something, like, you're just not there. The entire game plan is that you will not be with your team and you'll be figuring out other stuff on the map. Wisdom Runes did get picked up here. It was a split even, so nobody was really getting work there for that one. And just 7.5 minutes in, we're seeing a little bit of a net worth bump there for FCR. He's starting to pull away from the Faceless Void pretty heavily. And he's not that far away from level 6, so do you think maybe they want to try to bring up the Quap and try to get a kill on Lumiere quick, or are they able to do it themselves up here?
I think they're definitely going to want to link up and look for a kill. It's just a matter of, like, current map state if it happens mid or top.
Okay.
The first level of Mortimer's Kisses is usually, like, a guaranteed kill on a lot of heroes that don't have a way to escape. Faceless might be one of those heroes that's fine if he can, like, time walk out at the right time, but he's just getting so bullied right now by right clicks.
Holy, the charge away. KNRD almost had it. He actually managed to double bash alone and a single charge because of how slow he was from the Venomous Gale, but still, they end up getting one kill. They brought 3 heroes in a piece. Side laners are 1v1ing right now, and that just do be Dota right now. He just put everybody into the lane at 8 minutes.
Don't want to make you feel tilted or anything, but peek that Quap's Shadow Strike points. You got 3 of them.
Oh no, not again. No wonder, dude. I hate this so much. I mean, it might be the right thing to do if you really want to push out this Magnus, but I'll tell you what they do want to push out. It is Michael. Michael goes down. Thankfully, all you need is 1 point in that Scream. And Vitaly. Oh my goodness, just barely dying. A nice waveform from the Morphling. He almost actually got away from that one. I thought without the stun, they had a chance to get away, but no. Did end up dying just at the very last second. So, Broodmother, I said that maybe they actually get away. Maybe they push out the Morphling, but instead, Morphling has the lane to himself.
Yeah, that was. I thought it was a slip up at first when he didn't use the stun version.
Right.
But no, he had the numbers down calculated. He knew exactly what was happening.
That's just exactly what he needed. Nothing more.
I think you always take a bit of a gamble when you're like, guys, let's start on the Undying. We'll kill him quick, and the fight will go great afterwards. Like, no problems.
This is the Arrested Development. Millions of people trick themselves into believing that this will work. And
Oh,
top lane, oh, yo, I mean, it was an RP, but he just dies anyway. The Chronos, it wasn't in time. The Scatter Blast goes off, so they get one kill. Now they're turning back on the Lumiere. KNRD will die. FCR, I don't know if you can just bash this one up, buddy. He's still got a Time Walk available from Lumiere. He wants to get the kill on one, but won't actually get it, and there's no other blink available from Analog. So FCR lives, same with the Quamp, but they do end up trading the Spirit Breaker for a Magnus, which I think is pretty in favor for Keystars.
Yeah, for sure. Dying might be going down mid this time without clean trades.
Okay, let's go Analog. Nice to
popping off. Joins the fight bottom to clean up the kill on Brood. Joins the fight top to make sure that a snap doesn't die. Just honestly insane right now.
And ooh, what's going on bot side? Looks like they are charging after Vitaly. They don't want to lose this tower so easily. So the Brood gonna get charged up. Not quite enough damage to take all the spiders with KNRD, but with Analog, that scream is more than enough. They're cooking on top of them, and there it is, the big old burst to get a good Sonic Wave in, plus the Scatter Blast from FCR. They've got themselves another kill here. Working the map pretty well right now for the Keystars.
Yeah, that's that Spirit Breaker effect you talked about. He gets charged, they know where he is, set up a perfect kill on him. Morphling looking a little dangerous mid.
Yeah, but they're using the Mortimer's Kisses down alone. He's got to skewer out. He takes KNRD with him. I don't know if he wanted to take the care package away, but he gets the kill on Castable after getting the waveform in. And now Michael with no more stun. Actually doesn't feel too great versus this Morphling right now, but oh no, I think he may have stayed allowed too long. Focus Fire up. It's a pause 4, but I mean, Focus Fire still kind of hurts. A nice stun. Getting the waveform onto the low ground. Cookie as well. Michael is trying to stay on top. The power shot, it is just enough. Just by the skin of his teeth, gets the kill. But they may still lose the tower here in the mid lane for Hokori.
Yeah, the Brood TP's in here to try and help this fight out, but it might just be another Undying kill.
Oh, dude. RP. This time, again, going on the Undying. Not really first, because of how long this fight has gone. I think he got on like 4th, but
yeah,
first for this mini fight.
The fight that never ends in the mid lane right now.
This is the fight that never ends.
The Magnus has a lot of points in Empower right now, so I think he kind of wants to be in the farming, but he keeps getting pulled into these fights where it's like, guys, we shouldn't let our T1 fall quite yet. We want to be the ones taking T1s. We got a Brood.
Yeah, and Keepstar is definitely showing up a bit. I said this team is technically Div 2 right now. I mean, they are Div 2, not technically, they are Div 2. So it feels like maybe it's a bit easy for Hokori, but it doesn't seem so yet. Although Analog, poor guy, bashed up a few times.
Yeah.
He has the time dilation. It's a pretty good time dilation game for Lumiere.
Oh yeah. They initially brought the Quap down to deal with the Broodmother because it's like a hero that can kind of get away when she jumps on you, but when there's this many webs around you, you can't really get out. She just keeps running at you.
Yeah, it's one of the things that is still good about the Broodmother in every patch. No matter what, in webs you feel at somewhat of a disadvantage. However, charging in, trying to get away on the webs, but another bash, and the Mortimer's Kiss is not actually doing as much damage as maybe they would hope. Still at just 50% HP for Vitaly, and KNRD trying to run away, but the Focus Fire is definitely enough. Again, just a pause for Michael. It doesn't matter. They get themselves another kill, and Guard having to back away from this one. They do have Chrono, but they don't actually have the mana for it until he pops the wand, so I don't know if he really wants this. They don't have a ton of subsequent damage right now. I think they just back.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky fight for like the Faceless because he wants her Chrono cores, but there's not some insane follow-up damage that's coming in. It's not like the Snapfire is on his team. He doesn't have a, you know what, just ult the core at some point in the fight and we'll clean it up. He's got to be careful with when he ults to make sure that he can kind of guarantee the kill on it.
Looks like in mid lane. They do guarantee themselves a kill on Michael. And as they go into the top side as well, Garnet getting charged on one bash from the charge, and looks like we're waiting on another. If they get one, I think they get the kill, but if he's not able to catch up and hit, he may be toast. Oh no, okay, never mind. does miss on the Gale. So on one side, they're going on the Brood Mother. Garnet gets onto the tower, and instead they lose the Brood. I mean, yeah, you wanted to go in and get a Venomous Snake, but instead you get the Spider. You're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, for sure. They're doing such a good job of just controlling this Brood and making sure she doesn't get to sit in a part of the map, get situated, and farm up. Every time the Brood tries to show and do something, they have at least 1 or 2 heroes ready to fight.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, they still end up getting this Venomous Snake. All right, they still get it.
It was the long setup for the Venom.
Yeah, the long con. Make him think he got away. I think seeing this matchup right now, Broodmother looks incredibly difficult to play versus Spearbreaker right now. It doesn't matter how much vision you have around the Brood. At any point in time, you get charged on a wave, and it just feels somewhat impossible to play. So, getting a bit worked for sure on Hokori right now. Alone, as he said, he wants to be the one that's farming up, but he actually has to help out Lumiere, which is one of the things that's kind of weird about having this, like, core Magnus. I know it's been happening a lot, but whenever it's not in the safe lane, you don't want to be, like, sitting around your carry and empowering him. You want to be empowering yourself and farming yourself. So, sometimes it's hard, but of course, Alone is a good team player. Gardic is also a good team player. Has taken the gank a 3rd time.
Yep. He's like, guys, you guys go farm. I'll show on a wave. I'll get charged. I'll take care of it. Don't worry.
I'll be the one.
He's doing good on that. Yeah, they definitely have like 3 cores on Hokori right now that really just want to be farming, getting huge. They have the tools for it for sure, because all of the cores want to be empowered and hitting creeps. So it's really a question of like, will they be able to get away with it, and will they be able to get away with it for long enough that their heroes come online?
Yeah, that's a very big point too, because you have this, as you said, Faceless Void does not have any subsequent damage in the Chrono. So once he throws it down, like, he's gonna be the one getting the kills, which he needs to have a ton of farm. Your Magnus is a core, wants to have a ton of farm. You won't be able to blink in and harpoon and do all that stuff. Your Broodmother also wants to just like straight up fight with insatiable hunger, so he wants a lot of net worth. And honestly, I'm looking at Michael. Thank goodness that he's not going for like some Atos and some Maelstrom going for himself as well. He's like, I'll get a Yules, okay? It's not a stun, but it's kind of close, and I'm not building damage, so good for him.
Yeah, solid Yules game, I'd say too. Really good item to counter parts of the Spearbreaker kit, interrupt the charge, make it difficult for him to get clean bulldozes off. And it kind of helps because they're trying to draw the game out, skirmish in lanes. And yeah, if he was trying to play another core, there's not enough room for that.
Yeah, literally not enough camps on the map for anyone in this game. Already they have on the other side, you know, Morphling farming it pretty well, which we said this is a very fine Morphling game. I think as of now, the avenue to kill him is through an RP and a Shackle and maybe even a Chrono layered on top of it. Thankfully, it's not as hard to kill a Venomancer. Again, although they are trying to go in. Oh, okay. Oh, look at that. You love it when they just all line up right pretty for your next set of spells here. Although, did he just commit the death? Yes, he did. RP used, but is giving the strength more off, it seems, on Constabile. So they aren't able to finish off the kill. There's a very nice tombstone on the high ground as well. SDR trying to get away. As we said, he doesn't have any auras, but he needed a big shot. And plus, with the Mortimers, they get the kill on Michael and Alone. What a turnaround. They only end up dropping 2 and get a carry and an offlaner for the sins of Hokori. Good job for Keystars.
And Gardic gets away. After all of that, he started looking like an easy kill that turned into 2 kills for them, and then in the end, he gets away scot-free.
Wow. Surely the art of the deal here for Venomancer. Astonishing, yeah. He's got the mech. He was able to pop that. So he's going for the Greaves on his team, it seems. At least at some points. Right now, it looks like they're just going to settle for Mana Boots and mech and then go for the Pavis, which is, of course, quite nice. Versus this kind of initiation with the Morphling.
Yeah, the build up to like Greaves is really tough with that high recipe cost. He wants to be doing something a little more useful with his gold.
Yeah, 1,600. It's still 1,600, right? It's such an insane
1,550 or something like that. Yeah, it's expensive.
Crazy. Oh no, it's actually anti-inflation is only 1,450 now.
Excellent.
Well, then why isn't he going for it? Okay, that is a perfectly affordable amount of net worth. Okay.
You'd rather have a Pavis, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's so much. Actually, what is it? Comparative? Pavis might actually just be, Pavis is 1,400. It is literally the recipe of the Greaves to just go for it. Looks like a move, and they did use the ults already on Kina RD, jumping on top of the Magnus. Doesn't have an RP to use, trying to get away, but not enough. And look at that Sonic Wave! It hits 3, Mercs 2, and they get the kill follow-up on Garnic again. So 3 gone, and Vivo Keatstars, they definitely just cracked open this game a bit.
Oh yeah, that was like the perfect Sonic Wave. Hits the core they want and clips 2 supports in the backline. Oh, chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm. You can see, dude, the damage that Wind and Veno took from that was like all their health. Yeah, 500 pure damage. They really don't have much left after that one. Yep. Wind Ranger, unfortunately, is not a core in this one, so 500 pure damage is over half of her HP.
And the Morph is making really good headway on his eggs. Going to be quite sad to be one of the Universal Heroes when he decides to use that.
That is the one thing, right? It's a really good Morph game versus Universal Heroes. Only one of them, though, will get taken out at first. So somebody will have the opportunity to still play their game. 2 somebodies, I guess. But the Faceless Void here, I think the game is looking harder and harder for him. Because look, he's got queued up a Lincoln Sphere. And he's only got a Diffusal Blade, really. And I guess the Maelstrom in terms of his damage. So feels like you're playing versus a Morphling. Like Scotty's going to be really good. Probably want a refresher because I don't know if you really killed him in just one Chronosphere here.
I might find a big Chrono here. He's got DD.
Oh, hey, they get one onto the Quap here, but the damage isn't a ton right now. Can you get away on Analog? No, they have the stun lock. Rooted up though on the Faceless Void. So again, it's a trade. He goes in, he gets a really nice Chrono, but where's the damage to follow up? He still ends up dying in it. And is that a Venomancer getting taken down again? Poor guy. I mean, at this point, it's just really hard. He's only died one more time than Michael, so like the numbers aren't that bad for him. But it feels like after the laning stage, every time that I'm looking to someone getting gone on, it is the Veno.
Maybe that's just mean he's doing a really good job. You know,
that's true.
He's the one showing on waves and tanking the brutality of Spearbreaker.
Yes. Yeah. The support on support crime. He'll be the one victim of it. They go right into the Roshan pit. FCRA did end up going for that Atos into the Gleipnir. So he is just playing a universal hero. I know that people once said that, oh my goodness, offlane is just so boring. All you do is you build Greaves and a Pike, and people get mad at you if you don't have it. Well, guess what? We're back at it, right? You build a Gleipnir and you build a Manta, and if you don't have it, people are mad at you.
You give the people what they want. Now they're sad that universal heroes are broken.
Yeah, right. It's just, it's a different one. It feels like it's been a while since the offlane has been a very malleable role where you have many different things you can do. You know, maybe you're a Blink Initiator, or maybe you are just a Greaves builder, or maybe you want to focus towers, you know, whatever it is. Now it feels like we're getting back into, it's still a formula, it's just a different formula.
Yeah, I think we kind of seen how good that Gleipnir works too against Faceless. That last fight, like the only reason he couldn't get out after his like Chrono kill was because he got rooted.
Yeah.
So it's definitely working for them.
He's going Lincoln, so it's not like he's going to necessarily be good. It's ground target. Gleipnir is not going to get stopped from that. So he's doing this, I guess, mostly for either the Spearbreaker and or the Morphling. I don't think you're really getting morphed into a fight anyways, but you do find who is that guy?
We already know who it is. It's a support dying for his team.
This is true.
He's
taking the bullets once again. And looks like they may lose themselves a Tormentor. This is what I like. I like it whenever you're by a Tormentor, you kill the Tormentor, and that's it. I don't like the calls whenever you're like, you know, in the middle of the map, and all of a sudden it's like, oh guys, it's 20 minutes. Everybody go to the Tormentor. It's very natural. Feels good.
Yeah, the loss of map control, it feels like when you go back to your own, it just feels rough that you have to bring like cores all the way to that part of the map. But stealing them like that, it just feels wonderful.
Yeah. I really do hate that they changed the way that the damage is dealt. I loved the Hurricane Pike Enchantresses. It would just be like, don't worry guys, I got it.
I'll do it myself. I don't need a core.
I think Techie's also is fundamentally different now too, right? You can't just drop mines on it. All of a sudden it responds, you're in the middle of a team fight, you just die. Yeah, he died to a neutral grid because 8 bombs hit a Tormentor all at once and he's gone.
It would be kind of funny though.
It would be. Just watch him evaporate in the middle of the fight. Where did he go? It's the Thanos blip. Boop. Gone.
Don't feel so good, guys. Boom, gone. Charge coming in. Ooh, cancels. Doesn't want another guarded kill. It's too hard.
Oh, come on. He's had so many already. He needs to diversify his portfolio.
Yep. No, he's keeping himself in check. He doesn't want to go crazy.
Mm.
It's a weird setup right now. Bot TP. Okay, he just went away.
Only a 6,000 net worth lead. I get that there's Aegis on SCR right now, so you don't really want to take a fight on Hokori, but I don't think they're losing a ton right now. We've kind of stagnated maybe a little bit on the net worth lead. It's gotten a little bit higher, but it's not like crazy soaring.
Yeah, you have a faceless. You got a bunch of good scalers, so you're never really out.
Yeah.
There's always the opportunity to land like a big chrono and just win a fight. And obviously, if the game keeps going on without it being awful for them, their heroes will get farmed and will be strong.
Oh, Lumiere. He's showing on a wave. There's an invisible KNRD right in front of him. He actually didn't end up committing to that one, so KNRD is going to charge away. They smoked up on Hokori. They want to take a fight, even into the Aegis, and yeah, Morphling is a fine one to get, but somehow, some way, he actually gets the Strength Morph off. They have to chrono for him. They'll still end up getting the kill, I think. Wait, no, they pushed him away. He gets one man to off. Now he gets locked in by Michael. They need to try to commit on this one. He gets away from him through. No way he gets out of this. Come on, you had him to the right, and he lived through this. Not only they get the kill in the Faceless Void, that is disastrous for Hokori. Oh my lord. Fastest fingers in the West from Constabile. Holy.
He was... Oh my god, they're gonna find Brood as well.
Oh no, yeah, I mean, Broodmother gonna get slapped down. SCR does some big damage. He got the Mortimer's Kisses in on top of the Chronosphere, and now also getting those big hits. 3 gone, and the only core to survive the onslaught is the Magnus.
Yep. That was, like, if he hadn't gotten that Strength Morph off, like, the fight is so heavily in favor of Hokori that...
You only drop the RP, right? Like, that's it.
Yeah. Damn, he's fast.
He's really good. I could not have done that.
Yeah, it's hard because like they don't have any instant stun. They don't have any way of like guaranteeing the catch onto Morphling. They have to rely on the slightly slowness of RP or Chrono or Shackle.
Yeah. It's almost like a Hex would have been really nice to pick up. But it's so hard.
Bit out of the... gonna be hard to get a Hex this early in the game, I think, especially when you're not heavily in favor.
They're gonna...
they're running.
Yeah, they're smoking. I mean, Aegis just got reclaimed on FCR, but they didn't care. No, Chrono's down. Oh no. Alright, say your respects for Gardic.
RP Gardic.
He's got a Pavis. Yeah, he's just gone. What can you do? At least this time it's taken a while. I had the other ones, it took much faster, but this time, so.
We got eyes on Faceless right now, but I don't think they're going to be able to finish that charge. Yeah, a little too deep for them.
I think so. Right now, I mean, it's 13,000 net worth lead. They definitely have control of the map from Keystars. I guess they're just going to wait for the next Roshan. And, yeah, they'll go next. Because I think the way that they're farming right now, something terrible would have to happen in the next 2 minutes for Hokori to take the fight, and they also need Aegis. They would need to get Roshan as soon as they get this next fight win if they could manage it. I mean, what does that look like for them? We just saw them try to RP Constabile. It didn't work out. They had to Chronosphere him afterwards. They still don't end up getting the kill. I mean, is it just be faster? Is that the answer?
It might be. It might also be that if they can catch like a good grouping for like an RP of like 2 other heroes, then they'll probably be able to win a good fight off that. Like, the scary part of playing into Mag is it's hard to high ground. Like, you're worried about getting RP'd back into the base and just losing a hero. So even though Keystars is ahead, it might be a little bit tricky for them to like close out the game in the next like 4 minutes or so. They're gonna have to wait for Aegis.
Yeah, it's terrifying, right? And this patch, high ground still feels rough. You know, heroes that move you around, like the Magnus especially, make it really hard. You don't want to get sent up into the base. Sometimes it feels that rough. We've seen games in the DPC where a team is ahead, usually by a small margin. They try to go high ground. All of a sudden, they lose 2 or 3 heroes, and you're like, well, we've just extended the game by 20 minutes because we couldn't wait for the Roshan.
Yeah. It seems like during this like stagnant phase between the big acts of aggression, they don't really, they're not like losing harder than they are. They kind of bring back the gold lead a little bit and keep it flat, which is like a good sign.
That's true. Yeah.
They are
still
down,
have not
like,
to play on.
yeah, they're still down net worth, but most of their cores are able to hit creeps. Most of them are able to kind of keep pace. So it's not like they're just going to keep losing harder. They keep giving themselves like room to get back into the game.
Hyper late game, you know, Hokori probably has this. I don't think it's just a late game. I think you need to be 6 slotted on your Faceless Void. I think you need to be 6 slotted on your Mag. But you can do it because there are heroes that will eventually die to a single Chronosphere from the Faceless Void. You don't have some sort of natural save unless somehow the Tombstone is very, very close. I don't even know how that works, actually. I know that like this bunker is really cool. I don't think that it can be in the Chronosphere, I would have to bet, in order to save people with it. It would just have to be like, it would have to be like just outside, so.
Oh, this bottom fight might be deadly.
It could be. I mean, Hokori are definitely on thin ice. One more fight that is not in their favor, and all of a sudden they are going to be base holders for a while. And they're backing out here. They want to play under the wood, right, for Keydstars. They don't want to really dip out of this one, so.
Yeah.
If they don't
have to be mindful of their positioning so they don't get pulled out of the way and chronoed as a group and stuff. Yeah, so far, still definitely in favor of Keydstars, but...
Oh. That's
oh, smoke.
Come on, too greedy on the Snapfire. Ends up breaking the smokes here, but thankfully there is no dire vision around there, so they still don't see him. He's kind of scared. Tombstone on the high ground, and looks like they charge through a bunch of the spiders. You'll stop. It's a pretty good one, but they're still finding vision with the Winter's Kisses. You have a pretty good idea of where the rest of the team is. It is behind Roche, and Gustavo is throwing down the webs. Just kind of getting to poke around. Instead, they will keep control of the Tormentor, and a counter smoke up from Hokori. I mean, they've got ultis. They've got ways to play the game. This is terrifying, though. You just broke your smoke on alone. Jumps in onto the high ground, manages to grab a Morphling. The Manta out. Can't get the RP down. As a Chrono alone trying to get away here. Ends up getting healed just a little bit, but look at the damage. It's just not there. Analog gets a blink away. They're turned back onto the Faceless Void. He's out of here on Lumiere. And I think the rest of the team going to be hard-pressed to win the rest of this fight here. Do end up getting the Spirit Breaker. Castable is running on in. No one has an Aegis anymore, so everybody's on a single life for this one. But Vitaly, I think he may still go down. RP, it's a pretty good one. They use up the Morphling. Just want to try to focus down the targets in front of them before they turn back onto the Morphling. Analog ends up getting a triple, though. Look at the burst at that dagger. It just pops, and 3 heroes die, and now they're going to take down Gardic as well. It's a team wipe, an ultra kill, in fact, for Analog and Keydstars. And they'll hold on to Roche if they wait around for another 50 seconds, but they have plenty of map to take.
Yeah, that was like, those dagger procs at the end just like bursted them so quickly. The fight looked like it was starting out pretty badly when that charge came through right the center. And then, yeah, the chrono came down, and it was like, this is the perfect chrono, guys. We caught a bunch of cores, but yeah, he's the only damage into it, so wasn't enough to clean up any good kills. The one thing we also overlooked was the morph. Oh my god.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He turned into him and hit him with his own time dilation so he couldn't jump away.
What? Brother, Kasable, that is not your base. What? Why are you killing people back here?
Yeah. It's just such a good morph game. There's so many good things to take. I was trying to say that the last fight he was the Brood and he stole the Insatiable Hunger and was hitting for like 900 damage.
Holy.
But yeah, he can just apparently morph into anyone and have a bunch of good spells to go through.
Yeah, I'm astonished. Faceless Void actually seems so low on the totem pole because the big spell is Chronosphere. Time Walk is really cool. I'm not going to discount that one. It is a really cool spell to steal, but you think about how much you get from these Universal heroes, it feels so much better to be a Magnus, or as you said, be a Broodmother. But yeah, I guess being a Faceless Void is pretty cool too.
You can kill him with his own spells, just like the ultimate spit in the face. They're gonna look for Roche here now, and this will be the make or break, I think.
Yeah.
They're definitely ahead in net worth, feeling strong. If they're going to break high ground, now's a really good time to get the Aegis and hopefully not get all RP'd together.
They've broken high ground on the top side. If they get this one, surely the bot racks will go as well. They definitely sense danger on Hokori. They're smoking up, seeing if they can find anyone here. And nobody's actually started to hit Roche yet, so there's time for Hokori to maybe take a single good fight and then get themselves an Aegis. But everybody's hiding in the trees. Michael is going to find down first. Maybe there's some heroes hidden here. Gets himself Yules into the sky. Lumiere sees the Sapphire in the background. Doesn't want to connect on anything yet. They get a really nice shackle shot. It's onto Analog and Costabile, but Lumiere does not want to commit to it yet. Michael falls, and if Hokori isn't committing to that start, then I don't think they're committing at all. Gardic is going to fall, and now you're going into Roshan.
Yeah, they just had such a good read on what was going to happen. They were perfectly positioned to like break the smokes, and they were hidden enough that they didn't give Faceless any good chrono. They knew the smoke was coming, and they didn't want to get into the pit yet. They were eyes wide open going into that.
It's really surprising too. I feel like a lot of other people, they see that shackle shot go down, and you're like, this is it. This is our time. But no, they don't commit to it. And I don't know. Maybe this is one of the ones that I'm not sure if that was the right thing to do, because now there's an Aegis, and you're a pretty big net worth disadvantage. I'm not sure how you take the next fight to protect your high ground.
Like, I think going in there is very much the game will probably be decided then, because if they lose that fight, then they're like down chrono, down big spells, and down Aegis. If they like don't go in there, like they still have room to keep playing it out. It's definitely harder because the Keatsars has Aegis, but like they're not over yet. They'll have their big spells. They're all up. Not over yet. Ancient's still alive.
Amen. There's still a game to be played. 23,000 net worth lead. I mean, the big net worth differential is definitely our Morphling to the rest of everybody else. I mean, you look at this, and yeah, he's got about 7,000 net worth. You got basically 2 items on the Faceless Void. He's looking for a BKB so he can sit in his chronos and hit for a while. Meanwhile, Costabile, I mean, he's going for a butterfly. He's saying, as long as I can survive this, I'll be fine. And with RP and the Faceless Void, as you said, there is no damage follow-up. Typically, that damage follow-up would be magical. It's all physical that he just need to worry about. So this butterfly will definitely be good.
Yeah, he also has a lot of room to grow. Usually when someone's like capped out this much net worth ahead, you're like secretly holding on to this hope of like, guys, he's slotted out. Like, it can't get any worse than it already is. But now he's still got like 2 slots to go through. Nowhere near ready to start giving his team moon shards.
Yeah, right. I mean, he sucks up the Aghanim Scepter. He replaces this cheese. He probably even switches out his treads for like a swift blink.
Oh yeah.
And then he's finally like, yeah, he buys himself a moon shard and then everybody else, and that's it. But yeah, I mean, this cheese will just get replaced with the butterfly, and then he'll start to. Then it's an investment, right? You got to save up like 1,600 gold. Maybe you just end up replacing something, and then once you eat up the Ags, then you like switching your treads again. I don't know, but he's got plenty of net worth to suck up in this game. Meanwhile, Faceless Void is just like begging, please, can I have these waves? I'm 1,000 off of my BKB. I need this.
I need to hit some creeps, guys. I can't keep getting rooted like this. It's not fair.
So it's pretty hard for him right now. I don't know. I mean, they've managed to, I want to say, waste, honestly, 3 minutes of this Aegis. There hasn't been any high ground attempt. Their waves are mostly in. I mean, top is the only one that's really, I don't know. I mean, top and bottom are actually the exact same. I wonder, is there a reason that they maybe aren't committing to this? Is Butterfly really that important?
I think there's like some room where when you go and do Roche, you lose a bit of map control. Your lanes get shoved in, and then you have to kind of re-fix the map before you end up going high ground. So I think that's definitely part of it. But I think Hokori have done like a reasonably good job of getting out onto the map and trying to like delay out this Aegis. They haven't given them like a clean opportunity to go high ground, and they keep this threat of Chronosphere, Mag RP. So it's not like you can just be like, guys, we got Aegis, right click down a lane, we're gonna win.
Yeah, I suppose so. Just saw some time to get back. I mean, Alone is farming in the complete opposite side of the map, so he's doing his best to get his creeps. Vitality going for a Manta style. He does have Scotty, so that is an item that's kind of off of the Faceless Void's plate. You don't really need it anymore. It would be really nice on the Faceless Void because it seems like he's the one that needs to deal with the Morphling now. But hey, I mean, maybe that's what they need. They just need to start delegating items. Faceless Void needs to get his own, and everybody else needs to start dealing with the heroes on the enemy team.
Yeah. The problem is the cores on Keatsars are just getting so tanky. Quap just bought a heart, like...
What?
She has
Holy,
5 HP.
literally the Kaya Sanj heart meme. Actually, like, in the flesh. Just buy it on any hero and you feel unkillable. And I mean, here it goes. They are starting to hit high ground. We still got an Aegis for 43 seconds. It doesn't seem like a lot, but that is enough to take at least this set of racks. Maybe even mid if they start to hustle it up. But looks like they are going to find Stomble here first. Gets the charge through and kind of bounces everyone around, so they can't commit fully to that initiation. They also use the ult on Stomble. It's a lot of damage. Gardic, though, doesn't have anything else to really amp it. So, oh, Chrono down. They do only have a cheese on the Morphling, but he's getting the strength morph off. They feel like they've got him enough down, and they get the kill. They actually end up getting Kasabale, but dude, FCR is beating them down. Look at this. They've already had to buy back on 2. 4 are out, and they're just going to turn their focus back on the racks. That Shredder, it shredded.
Out of Sapphire DD.
Oh my god.
He's just melting them.
Oh lord. Dude, Venom just drops in a second. They do end up getting the skewer back. KeenRD popping the Shadow Blade. Seems like they don't have enough to really take him out of his element. Only 2 are left here. GG, Called, and Hokori end up dropping the first game here. Div 2 is indeed better than Div 1, and Keatstars have a strong hold on the semifinal series.
Yeah, that was like that last fight too. The Bara somehow like charged with the mag back, like that first jump in. Like, yeah, I don't know. They just scaled well, played a really clean game. They only gave up 14 kills that whole game, so they were on it the whole time.
Gardic died 12 times. He died almost as much as the entire enemy team. Very, very hard game for a Venomancer. I think one of the things that also happens whenever you throw this hero into the pause 5 role, Venom is already very immobile. You almost need a Force Staff just to feel like you aren't feeding for the entirety of the game. So whenever he scales this late, his team is down. You're a Venomancer with very low HP and a hero that just charges on waves. It's quite hard to play this game. But yeah, I mean, Keatstars, they have a really good showing here in this first game. Do you think a lot of this was maybe draft centered, or do you think that this is a bit of an outclass now?